Don't start that timer until I say the first word. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, this is the proportion of Dave Joyce's money to my money, just so you know. Did you get my robocall last night? I hope some of you, because I don't want to spend a lot of time convincing you that Dave Joyce is not a conservative. Every conservative organization in the country gives Dave Joyce a failing grade in his conservative voting record. If you still think he's a conservative, you're like that grandmother in the band that sees his grandson marching out of tune, okay? So let's move on to the hit pieces that were sent out this week about me. You know, there's so much in there I can't even cover it. But let me just cover a few of the distortions and lies in those letters you received. There was a lot of statements made about votes that I took down in Columbus, and they were bad votes. All of that had to do with House Bill 59. House Bill 59 was the budget bill in the state of Ohio. It was 8,000 pages long, given to me 4 days before the leadership wanted me to vote on it. It included a lot of bad stuff, some good stuff, but a lot of bad stuff, including raising your sales tax, raising your real estate taxes, and a big increase in spending. So yes, I voted against it. So did Tina Rodner down in Summit County. So did Ron Young right here in Lake County, because they're also both strong conservatives, as I am. And then those letters talked about some of the stuff that went on in Bainbridge Township trustee. You know, I passed out some information in your packets, and I'm going to write you a letter about some of these details. There's a chart here that shows you the spending in Bainbridge Township when I was a trustee. Went down every year. I was leading the charge for smaller government and reduced government at Bainbridge Township. And then Dave Joyce told you that I cheated on thousands of dollars on my real estate taxes. You know, really? It's almost incredible because he knows so much better. There's a letter that I gave you from a copy of the letter from the county auditor, where he sent me a letter a few years ago saying, hey, you know what? We billed you incorrectly for 3 years. So here's the correct bill on the other side. And those thousands of dollars he's talking about was less than $50 per half year. It was about $300. This is what your congressman stoops to try to convince you not to vote for Matt Lynch. It's tough to stand up against the establishment. It takes courage. I know. I've been in the House when the leadership wants you to do something else. But I believe that you can have the courage to do the right thing today, to endorse Matt Lynch, to stand up for conservative values. I believe that because I believe in the motto of the state of Ohio. With God, all things are possible. Thanks very much. Okay, our Congressman, Dave Joyce.
Thank you very much, Dale. Thank you all for being here and the opportunity to come and chat with you all. First, I want to address some of the things where, it's been said that I'm a phony Republican. Well, in 1982, when I came home from law school, I started at Geauga County, volunteering in the office, worked for a guy named Tom Moyer in 86. Tom, as you know, some of you are lawyers in this room, we had a pretty corrupt Supreme Court. I worked hard for the Chief Justice, and we won. We took back the Supreme Court. And in 1988, there was an opening for a prosecuting attorney, and I looked around the room, and the other people were applying for the job. I never saw one of these type of meetings. I never saw them at any of our state roasts or any of our dinners. I put my name in, and I was appointed to be a prosecutor. I loved that job. For 25 years I served. 25 years Geauga County remained on a budget. I said the night I was appointed, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do 2 things. I want to fight crime, and I want to make sure that we grow the county in the way you see fit, not the courts and not the developers. And in 2008, Forbes magazine named Geauga County the 4th best place in the nation to raise a family. I didn't get there alone. You do it by working with people. You do it by working together, and you do it by making sure that you have a plan, you state your plan, and you work together for an outcome. And we got that outcome in Geauga County. I just heard that I'm not conservative. I like to think that everybody who's a Republican is a conservative. While we may disagree on the strategy, sometimes we have to remember how we get there. We're not going to get there overnight. We have the most divisive president that we've ever had, or I've ever seen in my lifetime. And this is a guy who comes from Illinois who surrounded himself with people from Chicago. And remember, this is where the last governor is making license plates for the new governor. It's a criminal activity. But we have to fight for each other, and we have to fight as conservatives, and we've done that. When I got there, I said we're going to have to get on a budget. We did no budget, no pay. We've got a budget. It's not perfect. but it's a start. And we started to get our spending bills in order. And what do? We reduced spending. That's being conservative. It's a 3 yards and a cloud of dust, Woody Hayes mentality. Now, there's some who come in and have this Hail Mary strategy, and that helps drown out the hard work that we've been doing trying to move the ball forward under such an oppressive administration that we have. But it's important that we do it, and we continue to do it. And we reduce spending. We've managed to actually reduce EPA to 1990 levels. We've managed to have the greatest, for the Wall Street Journal in a quarter century, the greatest taking down of the size of the Department of Education. We're trying to give those things back. Because it's more important that we do it in the state and we do it in our counties and we do it in our cities than letting bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. tell us what to do. So it's a fight that I take on every day. And lastly, I want to get to one because I know someone, maybe I can see her here now, but came up to me and said how disappointed she was. The omnibus bill. Now, I told you when I asked you for this job, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to look you in the eye, I'm going to tell you the truth. And so there's already 230-some votes on the board. I could have voted no and came back here and pounded my chest and said, hey, I'm a real conservative too. And I am conservative. But the thing is, if I vote no, that meant the men and women who are fighting for us right now on the front lines throughout this world wouldn't have the funding they need to carry out their work. Isn't that what we wouldn't have? We wanted to cut national intelligence. The president, if anybody watched Tuesday, could stand it, the world's rosy to him. And just last night again, in Northern Africa, in Asia, in Europe, and hopefully not anymore here like in San Bernardino. The world's on fire. It's getting smaller all the time, and it's important that we take care of it. And I don't shrink from that duty. I will fight for the men and women. I will fight to make sure they're properly funded. I will make sure that our border patrol is properly funded. Because they go around saying that there are 10,000.
Oh, yes.
Is that like PolitiFact? Somebody gets poor Pinocchio.
Hope not.
Lastly, it's very important that we fund Border Patrol because while Syrian refugees are a problem, there's a bigger problem in our southern border. And these people are coming in from all through Latin America and South America, and we need to take care of our borders, protect and preserve our country. I'm honored to carry that fight on with you, and I humbly ask for your support one more time. Thank you.